Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dave and today's video is about how I cleaned all the weeds out of my farm dam. And it looks nice and clean now, but that wasn't always the case. So the first thing I want to show you in today's video is what my dam looked like in the middle of summer. And this is our 1,000,000 litre dam, and it's quite overgrown at the minute. So for us this is the middle of summer, and it usually starts to look like this in summer. I've got lots of this yellow plant that's growing out from the edge of the banks, and then in the middle this red plant is a red azola weed. It's not quite like duckweed, but it's sort of similar, and you need to try and get rid of this. All this stuff will actually die off in winter if you leave it long enough, but I try and get on top of it to a degree, especially to clear the red azola out of the way. And then what I do with this yellow weed here is I actually grab it with a rake and then pull it back and put it on the shore. For the red azola, I've actually got this new invention called an azola rake, where you throw it out into the dam and then pull it back, and it actually drags the azola with it. But we'll show that in a video, actually in a separate video, because it's quite a good invention. I haven't done a lot of work here on the dam just at the minute, because while we've actually got all this growth happening in the dam, it's actually restricting the mosquitoes. And the first year that the dam filled up and we had a lot of water, we had a huge problem with mosquitoes in this area, and I ended up with Ross River virus, and I had it for about 18 months, and it was really quite bad. So I don't really want to go through that again. And what we've just done in the last year or so, we've noticed that the more growth that we have on the surface of the water, it actually stops down the mosquito population to a degree. But pretty soon I'll get back onto this and we'll clear this up. It's pretty full at the minute. Over there you can see that it's pretty full. It has been dry once in the last 5 years, but we've had good rainfall the last couple of years and it's been quite full. But today what I want to do is get into here and clean out some of this weed and stuff that's in the dam. Currently it's getting towards the end of summer, and I just want to clean it up a little bit going into winter. So the two types of weed that I've got growing in here is this stuff here that floats on the top of the water, and this is called a red azola weed. And we haven't had this all the time. The first couple of years we were here, the dam was crystal clean and didn't have any problems, but the last couple of years this has started to come in and take over the dam. And the other weed that we've got in here is basically this stuff that grows out from the bank. So this type of stuff here that grows out, it's not grass, it's actually a water weed, but it tends to sort of work its way right out across the dam and then choke it up. So I want to try and pull in some of that and get rid of that and try and make the dam a little bit cleaner leading into winter. Water getting in my waders. I've got a leak somewhere. This is the sort of stuff that gets pulled in, that floating weed, and it's got a sort of a leaf on it, and there's lots of broken down bits there. So I don't know, you guys tell me if you've ever pulled this sort of stuff out of your dam and then used it for to make fertilizer or something with. I mean, it's got lots of broken down material and stuff in it already, and it'd be interesting to try it and actually see if it works. Now this thing is what they call an azola rake. I found this online from an Australian distributor last year, and I went to buy it last year and they had no stock of them, so I managed to get one this year. They make this in two sizes. This is I think a metre wide, and you can get one that's a little bit wider, about 1.5. And the idea of this is that it's got a floaty bit here. This blue thing feels like it's got a like a pool noodle or something inside it, and then it's got mesh in there that's not ultra fine, and then at the bottom it's got a heavier piece of plastic, I think, that's got something in it, because that's quite heavy. And the idea of this is you throw it out into the dam, and you can throw it out into the dam and reel it in, or you can tow it behind a boat. Or you could have somebody on the other side and then have a big long rope and sort of pull it across the dam. I've just been sort of throwing it out and then pulling it back, and what it does is when it goes into the water, this top blue bit tends to float, this bit down the bottom sinks, and then it curls over a little bit like that, and then you pull it in, and then it traps all the floating azola and other weeds in here. The rope that's on it isn't all that long, so you've got to be a bit careful when you throw it out that you don't throw it too far and run out of rope. But it's been okay. I've used it a couple of times now when the azola was really bad in the dam. At the minute it's not too bad, because we're at the end of summer and it's cooled down a bit at night, and that tends to knock down the azola a bit. But we'll see if we can throw it out and pull some in and sort of show you how it works. There's a bit of a technique of trying to throw it out there, because the first couple of times I was using it, if this doesn't go out and sort of land in the water the right way, it can come in upside down, or the rope gets tangled around it and it really doesn't work at all. Anyway, let's chuck it out and see what we can find. And then you can see when it comes in, there's quite a bit of stuff in there. When I was doing this, I was down here for about an hour each afternoon, and you can start to see a little bit of difference, but it takes a fair while. I'll just open it up again and you can see. So once you empty the rake out, you end up with all this sort of stuff here, which is all the floating azola, and just makes a big mound of stuff. And I've noticed if I leave it on the edge of the bank here, it sort of breaks down to a very smelly black mess. So I'm pretty sure that it would be okay if I dried it out and tried to use it as a put it in the organics, or put it in the compost pile maybe. Right, it's made a bit of a difference. I don't know if you can sort of see that, but I mean, as you take the azola out, fresh stuff starts to float in, so yeah, you just got to keep going with it. So I've got the ducks in the distance on the dam there. There's probably about 20 or 25, there's a lot there at the minute, and the azola that's been floating around that I've been trying to pick up from the dam with my azola rake, it's starting to break up now. Like, I've taken a fair bit out, and there's a few sort of small patches of water that's starting to appear, but I'll keep doing that. And I've actually got onto a new product that's coming next week. It's an orange based oil spray that you mist on the top of this azola, and it's supposed to suffocate it or knock it back. So I'm going to give that a go when that turns up. I'm just down on the dam wall at the minute, so I'm looking back at the house. The house is back over there across the dam, and I'm just going to do a bit of grass cutting on this dam wall. It's been going on for quite a while, and it's very, very long in patches up here, and I haven't been in here for months, so it's a good time to come in with the cutter and start cutting down some grass. And I've actually got some little trees in here, some more of these red robin trees that have been really struggling to survive in here. Initially we had the horses that would were down there, and the neighbour's paddock would come up and put their head over the fence and nibble the top of the plants. But We've stopped that to a degree now. The neighbours have very kindly put up this nice high fence there which stops that, but this grass is just amazing. Like, it just shoots up, and every couple of months I've got to come down and try and cut it back a bit. So that's what I'm going to do now. I've got my little whippersnipper ready and fueled up, and I'm going to try and get into this. Okay, so here we are sometime later. It took probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to come through this with my whippersnipper, but I got all the long stuff that was in here finally cut down. It went through it pretty slowly, but it finally got through it, and I unearthed all these great trees in all that long grass. So I've got a couple here. There's a few smaller ones that were hidden, but they're still alive. There's a hole there that's got nothing in it, and up here again I found some of these smaller ones. All these ones were eaten right down by the rabbits, and under all that long grass, when I cut it back, I found these growing. They're not very big. I might put some tree guards around them and see if they keep growing. But anyway, that's a lot neater there now. I've cut all those weeds and grass off the bank. I've still got a few more to do here. I've been working my way around the bank around there, trying to get rid of all this long grass. It certainly grows up pretty quick, and but hopefully now we're heading into winter and it's going to slow right down. Okay, I'm going to give this product a go on treating my red azola in the dam. It's made by Aquatic Technologies, and they're the same people that actually made the azola rake that you've been seeing in this video, and they do a lot of products to help people clean up their dams. They do different liquids, they do the azola rakes, they do water fountains, and a whole heap of other products, which is pretty good. So I found this online, and I actually bought this product off the internet from their online store, and this wasn't really cheap. To buy 2 of these 5 litre or 1 gallon jugs cost just under $300. So we'll see how this goes. The first part is an orange oil, and this is a natural based product to treat the azola, and then the second part is a surface clear product which you just pour the liquid onto the surface of the dam, and that also tends to help clearing up the azola. So we're going to try this out today. I'm going to mix some up in my garden sprayer and just have a look at it, what it looks like. So this is what it says in the product, that it's an orange oil water surface cleaner, all types of free floating aquatic matter in ponds, dams, lagoons and lakes. So there's a duckweed. Let me just put it there so I can see it. A duckweed there. The next one is a sylvinia, and the next one is what I have is the azola, and there's a green azola and a red azola, and I've got the red azola type. So it says the mixing instructions on the back here that you mix 1 part of product with up to 100 parts of water and spray using a backpack sprayer directly onto the surface. 1 litre of product will treat 500 square metres of water surface area, and my dam is about it's about 500 square metres. It's something like 20 metres by 25 or 25 by 30 or something. So I should use 1 litre of this product. It's a 5 litre container, so I should have up to 5 treatments in this container. The other one, the water surface clear, is a secondary type product that just gets poured onto the surface. So it says here, just reading the label, once your body of water has been cleared of the free-floating aquatic matter, the application of a surface cleaner will help reduce the likelihood, that is the reinfestation or re-establishment of floating aquatic matter. So this goes on just on the surface. Let's open that up and just see what the instructions for that say. So on the label here it says, pour directly from the container onto the water, pour 100 millilitres per 100 square metres of water. So we'll need about the same rate as this one. We'll need about 500 ml at a time onto my dam surface. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll get my little sprayer I have out. We'll mix up some of this and we'll see how it goes. Now I'm just going to adjust the tip of this so I've got more of a stream coming out than just at the minute it's quite a fine spray. So I'll just knock this back a little bit so I'll get that type of thing. And I'll just do this, I think. I can sort of see where that's going. Now some of the stuff that's quite close to where the bank is I can get onto to spray reasonably well, but there is a section out here which is like near the middle of the dam, and I can't really get the spray out that far. So what I could do is take my trusty boat here, Unsinkable 3, and paddle out there and spray it from inside the boat. I could just sort of float around near it and spray it. But I think for today what I'll do is I'll do this section here, then I'll go around the bank here and just see how far I can come out, and then have a look at it tomorrow, because the application of this stuff says that it needs to be done over 3 or 4 days. So I'll do today and then I'll come out tomorrow and try and give it another treatment and see if I can notice any difference. Right, well I've just finished putting on, I did 4 tanks in my sprayer, which was about 400 mils of orange oil across the dam. I think I worked out that it would take about a litre to do the whole dam, but it is cleared over there and I'm just really treating the azola in this part. So about 40%, so I think sort of 400 mils should be okay. I couldn't get into this, basically this area in the middle there. It was too far for the sprayer to reach, and the breeze is sort of coming this way a bit, so it'll be interesting to see how much around the edge that I actually managed to knock down. And if this does knock this part down, then with the breeze that should blow the azola back to the bank here, and then I can treat it again. But it'll be interesting to see in a couple of days whether it actually makes any difference or not. Whew, it has been cold this morning. The last couple of days you've had big frosts, and I'm just now heading back down to the dam to see what's happening down there. It's been 2 weeks since I put the last treatment of orange oil on the dam to try and get rid of the red azola. So we'll just head down there now and see how it looks. Well, it is looking very nice, quite clear actually. You can see that there's big patches of clear water on the top now. There is a little bit of azola I can still see up on that edge, and I have a little bit of spray mixed up, so we'll go up there and just try and treat that again. Down the sides I can see there's a little bit here, but it's also mixed in with some of the weeds that are growing out from the bank here. So what I think I'll do is I'll get my metal rake and I'll pull that back onto the shore, and that'll help clear some of that up. But generally it looks really good. It looks so much better than a couple of months ago when we first came out to look at the dam. I've done a bit of work around the side here by sort of cleaning up around here with the whippersnipper and getting rid of some of the longer grass, and I've left some of these reed stuff on the bank here just for the ducks to sort of settle into at night. Over there you can see there are a few ducks on the pond at the minute. The other morning I came out and I counted them and there were 30 ducks on the pond. They're just wild ducks, they're not our ducks, they just come and go, but certainly I've noticed when the dam is a lot cleaner and it has less matter on the top, that you tend to attract the ducks coming back. Now they said on the instructions for this stuff that it really only will affect floating plants, that it won't affect anything that's actually growing in a root system in the ground. So I'm not really worried that much if I get some of it along the side here, because I don't think it's actually going to kill anything down along here. I think it's more of a case of whatever is sort of floating out here. So that's the primary objective, is just to get a coating on the stuff that's floating. Okay, what I want to try and do in this area is, I haven't sprayed any of this today. I'm going to try and just get my metal rake in here and just pull back some of these plants that are growing out from the bank here and try and clean up this end like that and just see whether that makes much of a difference. You can see that get two hands on it, maybe it might help. You can pull it back, and as soon as this stuff gets on the side of the bank, it dries out and breaks down. You just have to get it out of the water. So I'll just work around and try and do some of that. What do you think, doggo? You're going to jump in and help, maybe? Your paws, white dog. You've been in the dam, haven't you? They're a bit black. Might be time for a bath. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty happy in how the dam is cleaning up, and I think a lot of that is due to the weather. It's actually the middle of winter here in the Hunter Valley in Australia. It's 20 degrees today, which is about 68, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's beautiful weather and very cold nights, and I certainly think that's helping kill some of the floating material in the dam. And this dam, I've noticed in the last couple of years, does self-clean a bit in winter, but what I want to try and do this year is to get rid of nearly all of the remnants of the floating weeds on the dam, because as soon as it warms up in spring, the stuff just explodes and starts growing back very quickly. So that's the objective, is to get it as clean as I can while winter is still around, but certainly the weather at this stage is a real bonus. So there you have it. I'm really wrapped with the final result of how clean I eventually got my dam, but it did take a couple of months to get there. I used three techniques, if you like. So the first one was a mechanical technique of using my farm rake to pull the weeds out of the dam and put them on the side of the bank where they would slowly break down and die. The second one was the orange oil, and I'm pretty happy with the orange oil. I wanted to use an organic solution rather than a glyphosate, because I wasn't too sure how a glyphosate would go on the dam, whether it might affect the marine life and the frogs in the dam. So that's why I chose the orange oil. What I didn't show in the end of that video was the surface clear treatment. And the bottle that I got of surface clear is a 5-litre container, or 1 gallon container, and that costs about $150. And because it was getting colder and the azola was dying off naturally, I really didn't think it was worth putting that treatment on. Now it's warming up and it's starting to become spring and summer. I think what I'll do is every couple of weeks I'll then use that surface clear treatment just to control any of that growth coming back. Anyway, time will tell. I'm really happy with the result as it is now, and the battle now is to try and keep it this clear over the coming summer. Anyway, that just about wraps up today's video. I really appreciate everybody watching the video, liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. I thank you for all your support, and I'll see you next time.